people power. But we can move. We can move into AEW Wrestledream, which I believe is on Sunday, which will be in Seattle this weekend, home of Daniel Bryan, of course. A couple matches that are going to be happening there, especially with Zack Sabre Jr. Just looking at that match, of course, I haven't been following AEW for a little bit, but just looking at that matchup, this is probably one of the best matches, technical matches on paper that you can think of dream wrestling when they coined the phrase pretty perfectly here, dream Wrestle Dream. To put these two together, what do you guys think about AEW's card? But let's start with Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. What do you guys think about those guys pairing up?
All right.
Okay, sorry. Before you go, Brian, haven't they wrestled already?
I don't believe so. Initially, this match was supposed to happen at a Forbidden Door last year, but then Bryan Danielson was injured, so it didn't happen. So then I think Zack Sabre Jr. ended up fighting Cesaro, Claudio Castagnoli, because he had just debuted in the companies. But as far as technical wrestlers go, these two guys are the top two in the world, especially Zack Sabre Jr. I mean, I always go back to that fatal four way. I think it was this past year's Forbidden Door that he had with Daniel Garcia, I think Shibata, and then somebody else. And he Orange Cassidy in it. Orange Cassidy. And the things that he was doing was just next level. I mean, when you look at his timing, when you talk about reversals, man, being the submission holds that he does. I mean, Zack Sabre Jr. really is one of the top wrestlers in the world, and now to match him up against Bryan Danielson, who's become essentially the new face of Collision now. I mean, you're always going to get a great performance out of both of them. So it being in Bryan Danielson's hometown, that actually adds something to it as well. But you definitely they really haven't really told much of a story with it. It's pretty much just going to be two technical wrestlers in the world who's the best. And watching AEW tonight, they really didn't have wasn't there live or anything. I think they may have done like a brief video package, but nothing too serious because the names kind of already sell the match. I mean, it's definitely going to be the main event. Probably going to be Bryan Danielson going over, but I'm definitely going to be looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this pay-per-view, honestly, I don't even know the full card. I was watching AEW a bit. I know that match. I know there's a 6-man tag with Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, against Takeshita, Sammy Guevara, and Will Ospreay, which again feels like the same thing.
Family.
Yeah, the Don Callis family. Yep.
it just feels like the same thing it feels like the same thing from what was it, All In at Wembley? Where it was
All In, All Out. I mean, it's pretty much
the big one at Wembley.
Yeah.
The big one where it was I think it was another 6-man too. It was Kenny, Ibushi, Takeshita, Will Ospreay, and there was somebody else. I honestly don't remember, but I'm just like, these matches were like, first of all, this pay-per-view just kind of feels like another Forbidden Door, honestly.
Pretty much.
They're just making
let me run down the card real quick. We got Hangman Page versus Swerve Strickland, FTR versus Aussie Open, MJF versus The Righteous.
Yeah, so Adam Cole broke
ROH.
Adam Cole broke his ankle last week trying to intervene in the match with Samoa Joe and MJF. So now it's a 2-on-1 handicap match. I saw that segment. During that segment, Switchblade Jay White came out, and him and MJF had a back and forth, and Jay White made his intentions known that he wants the AEW title. So I don't know if they announced that match is going to happen. So
at some point,
at some point probably. Yeah.
Hey, at least he's getting in the title picture.
Yeah, rather than sitting on the sidelines. There's also Christian Cage versus Darby Allin, 2 out of 3 falls for the AEW TNT match. Christian accidentally covered Luchasaurus, right?
I wasn't. No, I wasn't accidentally. No, he purposely covered Luchasaurus. That was on good. That was legit.
Finally win the title. Eddie Kingston versus Shibata.
Wait. Luchasaurus basically handed over the title to Christian.
No, so on Collision. So on this past episode of Collision, there was a 3-way match with Luchasaurus, Christian Cage, and Darby Allin for the title. I mean, essentially, Christian was trying to set it up for it to be a 2-on-1 situation, and the only way he could do it is if it was a 3-way match. I think Darby hit the coffin drop on Luchasaurus, then Christian came in, threw Darby out the ring, and then pinned Luchasaurus and became champion. Yeah.
And then there was a little tug of war with the belt, and Luchasaurus gave him the belt. So that was they're teasing something there. Yeah. We got Eddie Kingston versus Shibata for the ROH championship and strong openweight championship. Mm-hmm. Chris Statlander versus Julia Hart for the TBS title. And then we got a 4-way tag match for a future opportunity at the tag titles with the Young Bucks, the Guns, the Lucha Brothers, and Orange Cassidy and Hook. And then we got Yep. And then we got Orange. And then we got Ricky Starks versus Wheeler Yuta.
Which they just announced tonight, yeah.
Okay, so that was just added there. So definitely a bunch of matches there.
Yeah.
Well, who's Aussie Open?
Oh, Aussie Open? Yeah, they're in
was that group were they in NXT?
No, that's Shane Thorne and TM69.
TM61. Yeah, those were those guys. But I think Aussie Open, they're just a very good Australian tag team. I mean, they were in New Japan.
Usually Will Ospreay sometimes.
Yeah,
aren't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're in the stable with Will Ospreay, the United Empire.
Yeah. Yep, that's what it is.
It's just part of the Don Callis family, or is he part of the United Empire?
No, United Empire. That's his group, and I guess he's a mercenary per se for the Don Callis family.
Yeah,
such a waste.
I mean, Ospreay's like the ultimate. He's like the ultimate free agent. Like he's everything.
Yeah.
I think like he has I think like it was announced that like he's wrestling for like a GCW or another one of these independents. Matter of fact, it might not be GCW, but I know he has a match. Not Impact. Yeah, it was Impact. He has a match on Impact coming up too.
What the fuck?
He's the ultimate free agent. Though.
He's so talented. It's a shame.
Yeah, he's so good. Yeah,
it's a shame.
Him
and Daniel Bryanson should face each other at some point. If they're going to create a title for Collision, that's what needs to happen. They can run that show with those two guys at least and have something.
But that's the thing though. He's not on the AEW roster. He's part of New Japan, and I guess his contract's coming up soon. So he'll be a free agent pretty soon. So I think the plan probably is to sign him to AEW, and then you could start doing like real like big matches and stuff. I mean, he's had big matches, but like storylines, I guess.
Yeah. Because it's like he's too talented to just not be doing something. Like, he's too talented. Man.
My thing is just like this just feels like another Forbidden Door where it's just like there's. And AEW doesn't always do the best of building. At least they'll have like one or two storylines. At least this one, I don't feel there's any storylines. It's just like let's just give let's just set up good matches because they know people are gonna watch them.
So
Forbidden Door 2.0.
So I was actually watching AEW in the background, and the main event for the show tonight was actually the contract signing between Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland. So. If that's the main event of Dynamite, then obviously it's probably their biggest story going into the show.
I don't even know the story between that.
I mean, the story is pretty much. I mean, that storyline is pretty much. I think Swerve came out in the middle of a Hangman Page promo and pretty much told the Hangman that since he's been winning. That it's been a minute since the last time he's won the AEW championship, and that like he's getting soft. He's not hungry anymore, and Swerve went as far as to say that if I got as many opportunities as you, I'd be the first Black AEW champion already. So it's not so things aren't fair. So, but I know if I take you out, I'll finally get the opportunities I deserve. So that's pretty much that.
Shit, I hope Swerve gets the win.
Yeah.
Swerve needs to be in that top spot.
You want to know who's
he's
coming?
From Seattle. He's from Seattle too, so hopefully.
You want to know who's coming? Top Dollar.
Oh God!
Let's go.
He's available.
Hitting that top rope. He'll hit the top rope again.
I keep getting confused.
That spot is the reason why he got released.
When I see Top Dollar get released, it's like, did they release Hit Row? No, right? It's just
him. It was just him. That's why I'm like, yo, really, that spot, yo. And the thing is, he can do that shit. I've seen him do it on YouTube. And apparently, when he did it, he was a heavier weight. That's what he was claiming. So that's why I'm like, yo, he can do this shit.
Man.
I don't know why he's even going. I don't know why he's even going for that spot. If like
he's too heavy.
There's big dudes who can do that.
I'm just saying for him. For him, it looks like he can't do it that way.
No, but I'm saying there's still dudes who are like heavier than, not heavier, but maybe around the same size. They could still do that move, and him, like, bro, if you can't do it clean every time, don't do it.
Michael Cole killed his career. Michael Cole.
He had too much cash in his pocket. He had too many dollars in his pocket.
Definitely.
He could have played that, right? Like, he should have played that up. Like, I got too much money in my pockets when I'm
all these dollars.
But in getting back to Wrestledream, Tony Khan had said in like the media call he did for the event that like that this pay-per-view is pretty much going to serve as like a reset for AEW with all the turmoil and nonsense that had been going on with CM Punk getting let go, with Jade leaving and everything, that this was going to be kind of like a rebirth or a restart for AEW. And if he's saying things like that, the only way I could see that is that at this show, because there's not a lot of stories, and then you need to have like a major like impact signing, which is why I'm thinking that if what he's saying is true, this will be the perfect time for On This Day I See Clearly Edge. You're not gonna hear that theme music, but if Edge is coming to AEW and he's signed. If you're gonna debut him and say this is a reset, this is the perfect place to do it. If not Edge, we also heard rumors about Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks possibly joining AEW.
That would be.
If those are true, and you're saying this is going to be a reset, having both of them debut on this pay-per-view is definitely a step in that direction.
Shaking his head already. Dan's shaking his head.
I mean, I don't want to see Sasha Banks there. I mean, me personally.
WWE.
I just don't want to see Sasha Banks there because
go back to WWE. That's all I'm saying. I'm just going to say this from Edge's standpoint. I understand the whole angle with him and Christian. You can also do an angle with him and Daniel Bryanson, especially what they did at WrestleMania. Like, hey, you got my way.
One more run with Christian before he hangs it up.
Like there's some things that he can do with Christian. There's some stuff he can do with Daniel Bryan, but I can see him trying to have a tag team match with even be heels. Because they can be pricks together, and like I can see Edge wanting to do that. Not really getting that type of heel run that he wanted in WWE in his latest run. You know what I mean? So he can possibly do that. Sasha Banks, as I said, just go back to WWE or just stay in New Japan. Or just stay in New Japan. Do not go with
see, that's why
why can't she have a quick run?
Do not go to a sinking ship. Do not. You just complained. You left a whole company for how they treat women. You just left a whole company for how they book, how they treat women, the wrestling that they have, the time they given. And now you're gonna go to AEW where they have probably been worse.
Hey, maybe she can change it. Maybe she can change it.
Yeah, but it's been so bad that it can only go up from here. And when you get
that's true.
That's not true. It can continue to go down.
Okay, but think about this though. You know how big of a name Mercedes is. You don't think that'll put an even bigger spotlight on AEW's women's division, that it would actually cause a change? Because
you brought in Ruby Soho.
I don't.
You brought in.
I know. Huh?
You brought in all these other women that had bad booking,
but they're not on the They're not on the caliber of Mercedes. Though.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't
definitely
matter.
Not. Yes, it does.
I mean,
that's not what you push.
It kind of does.
No. That's
like
you push
Ruby Soho.
Okay.
Seriously.
Well, hypothetically, you're telling me if Charlotte went to AEW, you telling me that wouldn't bring
I'm just saying,
so much attention.
Okay, attention brought to it. Yes, that's going to bring attention to it. But in terms of booking and what they're going to do with it, I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. That they're so big. You don't tell me she's going to come in and be like, "You guys are doing this. Nah, we're going to do this."
First of all, what does that say? What does that say to Britt Baker? What does that say to?
She's homegrown. That's different.
No. What does that say to those women in there that were just in there busting their ass? Oh, now she walks in and now everything's okay? Come on.
It's star power.
That's the exact message. That's the exact message. That's
the exact message.
I couldn't be a wrestler.
The message is to the bookers, though. It's to the bookers. It's like, what are you guys doing? Like but then it also has to highlight, if Tony Khan's the one that's still kind of, deciding how things go, it's going to be like, you're going to have to highlight the women's division more. And you have to actually create stars, because you can't bring in the biggest star ever and only have her feud with two people.
I agree with that. And I'm pretty sure her coming in is going to be like, hey, show some shine here. Give this person more attention. Show I want to work with this person. I'm pretty sure it's going to benefit. But I'm just like, after all the shit that you just literally went through, stood up for, you're going to go to AEW? To me, you got to finish.
I don't see why not.
And if the reports are true about her and Trinity's exit, the influences that were responsible for it aren't there or don't have the power that they had then anymore, supposedly. So, I mean, John Laurinaitis is long gone.
Until I see
Vince
McMahon and Bruce Pritchard pulled literally from the WWE office, I still think those influences are going to be there. I still think.
This is all caused by the women's tag team titles. Get them out of here.
It's the white straps.
Give me the trash can.
They need to redesign them. They need to redesign.
No.
It's the white straps. It's the white straps.
Put it in the trash can.
What are the women going to do? What are the women going to do?
Give them a mid-card title. Give them a TBS. Give them
USA title.
The North American Women's Champion. How simple is that? The United States Women's Champion. How do you have? How you gonna tell me
they just lost their
world champion, world heavyweight championship? And then the women's world heavyweight championship. You can't do the same thing for another title.
They just lost their Patriot. They just lost the angle for that. They already released Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans is gone.
She's too controversial. Is she? Stole too many people's. She stole Sergeant Slaughter's move without asking.
Yeah, that didn't help. That didn't help for sure. Wrestledream's happening Sunday. We'll see what happens. Maybe there's some debuts. I don't know what the ties of the no compete clause. I don't know if there was that for Edge, or maybe they're just like, hey, you want to go to AEW? You've done so much for us. Hey, go ahead. Maybe it's one of those deals like, hey, go ahead, go to AEW and go wrestle with Christian. Go ahead and do something over there. Maybe that's the spot they were in, but hopefully there's some debuts there. That would be dope to hear about.
Yeah. And bringing that up, because I remember like in the early episodes of the podcast when we first started talking about AEW, I remember Daniel, you saying your first comparison to it was WCW, and when you look at this week, who did WWE sign? Signed Jade, one of their homegrown up and coming athletes. And then you look at all the people that AEW assigned that WWE let go. Some of these aging guys who were probably only there just for the paycheck or for creative.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you start to see that now you're starting to think, they're emulating WCW a little bit now. Especially we hear they bring it in.
I've said it from day one. They are WCW 2.0. That is what they are. Whether they want to admit it or not.
They started on TNT.
It's on TNT. All the AEW Collision resembles Monday Night Nitro. All the stuff are there for WCW. I'm just saying it's WCW. And maybe people are seeing it now. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because WCW
it's not a bad thing.
WCW did have its moments. It was entertaining. It did have great matches. But there's limits. There's levels to it. And I've always been saying that. And if this is a reset already for AEW, like this is stuff that WCW did. The reset. We're going to rebrand. We're going to do this. That's a reset. And hopefully it's not the same outcome because I think there's a little bit more bang for the buck now, especially with the market for wrestling. So it's like I don't think it's going to be the same as WCW, but it's like a reset. Stars, there's controversies, there's people quitting, so much backlash, all this stuff going on. It's like, how much can you deal with that until the network says enough, wrestlers say enough? Like, who knows?
I don't think they're anywhere near that, but that's just me.
Hey, there's signs there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
you can't say that. You don't even watch it.
Yeah, I check it out every day. I watch the clips.
I will say that we are there is going to be a lot of great in-ring action as far as Sunday night goes. I mean,
no that
list. Like I'm actually looking forward to for once in my life. I'm actually looking forward to a 6-man tag with Kenny Omega, Jericho, and Kota Ibushi because those are big names that will make the match very entertaining.
That's what happened at All In, and that match ended so fast. I was like, this was so anticlimactic. I was like, what the hell is this?
Was like, and then got released. Fired for blading. That's what they didn't want to tell you. CM Punk got fired for blading. That's what it was.
Because he got caught. He got caught.
He got caught.
I mean, when you talk about Darby and Christian, they've actually had a feud going for a couple of months now over the TNT title. So that's actually one of their top stories, and the fact that it's going to be 2 out of 3 falls, and the fact that Christian is actually the TNT champion right now, and they're in Seattle, in Darby's hometown. So the emotion in that match is going to be awesome.
Good marketing. We got Swerve Strickland. You got Daniel Bryanson. You got Darby Allin.
Exactly. You got three hometown guys.
And Seattle has a history of since like the Roddy Piper days of being a crazy territory, like for fans and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those people in Seattle, they're still not over the fact that the Seattle Supersonics moved to Oklahoma City. I mean, they're serious. Anytime it's ever brought up on a wrestling show, the fans will boo for literally 5 minutes straight because they're still not over it.
I don't blame them.
Yeah,
bring the Sonics.
The fans in Seattle are better than the fans in Miami. I'd rather have the fans in Miami leaving the game. I still remember that shit they did in the finals all those years ago when they left early, thinking that shit was over, and then tried to get back. They tried to get back in. After that, I'd rather have a franchise in Seattle. The Seattle fans wouldn't do that.
Oh man. But that's happening in Seattle. Hopefully it's a great show. Hopefully there's a great turnout. Let's turn our attention to NXT No Mercy